If your wallet feels thin, your words got there first. If opportunities pass by like buses you keep missing, it is not because the city forgot you, it is because your mouth told the driver not to stop. This will sound simple, almost too simple, but that is why it works for anyone, even a child. Life listens to your voice, not your mood, not your wishes, not your effort, your voice. The world around you behaves like a team of builders waiting for your blueprint. Feelings are not the blueprint. Complaints are not the blueprint. The blueprint is the sentence you keep saying. Say, "There's never enough," and the builders lay out a small room. Say, "Supply is open to me," and they expand the walls. It is that practical. Let me speak plainly. There's more than one kind of poverty. You can have a small bank balance and still be rich in speech. Then your balance will learn to follow your words. Or you can have a large income and still be poor in speech. Then your income will learn to leak through your words. The first poverty to end is the poverty of the mouth. Many people learn certain phrases so young they do not even notice them anymore. We can't afford it. Money is tight. That's too expensive. Each phrase is like a tiny rule you write on the door of your life. The rule does not care who you are or how hard you work. It only cares that you spoke it. That is how law works. It hears a line and carries it out. Think of an elevator with two buttons, up and down. Your tongue presses one of them with every sentence. You never say nothing. Even silence leans one way or the other, because silence without faith gives fear a chair to sit in. When you say, "I can't," that is a down button. When you say, "Good is moving toward me," that is an up button. Children understand this. If you tell a child, "We are going to the park," they start putting on their shoes because your words started the plan. Speak like that to your own life. Speak in a way that starts motion. This is not pretend. This is not act rich and ignore your bills. This is training your mouth to tell the truth about supply instead of repeating the weather of your feelings. Facts change. Law holds. The facts might say balance is low. The law says I draw from an unlimited source. You do not have to deny the facts. You must refuse to let them write your next line. Look at the bill. Bless the service it represents, and talk to your supply the way a captain talks to a crew, steady, calm, and sure. The sea may be rough, but the ship moves because the captain gives orders, not because the waves feel kind. Every word you speak is a seed. This is the easiest way to see it. Seeds carry a kind within them. Plant apple, get apple. Plant thorn, get thorn. You already know this about gardens. Your mouth is a garden. Not enough is a thorn seed. Right provision now is an apple seed. You cannot plant thorns all morning and then act surprised when your afternoon stings. You also cannot plant one apple and say, "See, nothing changed," while you spend the rest of the day throwing thorn seeds. Seeds work by kind and by rhythm. One sentence said, "Once can open a door." A sentence said, "Steadily turns a path into a road." Some people tell me, "I make affirmations, but nothing moves." I ask one question, "What do you say when no one is listening?" Often there is a pause, then a soft confession. I still say, "I don't know how I'll make it." That one line is like turning the key off right after you start the engine. You cannot bless in the morning and curse at lunch and expect the blessing to stand. Law is not confused. It follows the rhythm it hears most. If you want a steady result, make a steady sound. I want you to notice your ordinary talk, the little lines you throw away without thinking. It's always something. I never catch a break. That's for rich people. These sentences are not tiny. They are tiny doors. Each one opens to a hallway you do not want to walk down. When you feel one of those lines climbing up your throat, interrupt it. You do not need to argue with it or give a speech about it. Just replace it. If "I can't afford it" tries to leave your lips, trade it for "what is mine by right arrives in right ways." If "money is tight" tries to escape, trade it for "money moves freely to me for every good use." If "that's too expensive" starts forming, trade it for "if this is mine, it meets me with ease." You're not pretending. You are choosing the seed. Here is a picture so clear a 10-year-old can use it. Imagine your words like sticky labels you put on things. If you put a label on your day that says hard, your day will try to be faithful to the label. If you put a label on your day that says ordered and provided for, your day will try to be faithful to that. Do not label your wallet empty. Do not label your talents small. Do not label your future maybe. Label them the way law labels them, supplied, growing, in rhythm. Labels matter because your mind reads them every time you touch the thing. The label you see most becomes the path your feet choose. Some will ask, but isn't this just positive thinking? Number positive thinking tries to feel better. Spoken law gives an instruction. Positive thinking is like hoping the room lights up because you like light. Spoken law is like flipping the switch. One is a mood, the other is an act. When the world was formed, it was not formed by hoping. It was formed by speaking. That pattern did not end. You are made in that image, so your mouth carries a design power. Use it. Use it kindly. Use it cleanly. If you have been trained to rehearse lack, do not be ashamed of yourself. Most of us learned it from people who loved us and were afraid. Someone said, "Money doesn't grow on trees," so a child learned to see money as a scolding subject. Someone said, "Don't get your hopes up," so a child learned to keep their voice low even when they needed to call for help. You are not stuck with those lessons. You can graduate today. When the old slogans try to speak through you, catch them like you would catch a ball that is not yours. Set them down. Speak your own line. Let me give you 3 simple rules anyone can follow. First, never use your mouth to describe yourself as smaller than the law describes you. Say, "I am provided for," even if you are still learning how that shows up. Second, never use your mouth to insult money. Money is not your master. It is your messenger. Speak to it like a helpful worker, not like a villain. Bless it when it arrives. Bless it when it leaves to do a job. Third, never let stress choose your sentence. Stress is loud, but it is not wise. Take one breath, then speak the line you want life to copy. You may say, "What if I slip?" Then you fix it. That's all. If a harsh line jumps out of your mouth, cancel it aloud and replace it at once. "No, that is not my word. My word is supply and right action now." Do not punish yourself. Correction is not punishment. It is steering. A driver does not cry every time the car drifts. The driver adjusts. Adjust your language with the same calm authority. Each correction is proof that you are awake. Training your mouth does not require a perfect personality. It requires a simple schedule. Choose 1 to 3 clean sentences that feel true in your bones. Keep them short and strong so you can say them under your breath anywhere. Examples: I walk in steady supply. What I need meets me on time. My words open good doors. Put them in your morning before the world speaks to you. Put them at noon when noise begins. Put them at night when your mind wants to replay old scenes. You are giving your day a frame. Pictures look different when the frame is strong. Talk to your money tools. Open your wallet and say, "You are a full place." Look at your account and say, "This is a moving picture, not a final story." If numbers seem small, keep your tone large. Fear wants you to whisper. Speak evenly and with respect. the way you would speak to a friend you trust. Respect is not the same as worry. Worry shakes. Respect steadies. Bless the outflow. When you pay for food, say, "This returns multiplied." When you pay a bill, say, "Thank you for the service this represents. I send this out blessed and it circles back." You will notice your shoulders drop. You will notice your breath even out. You've stopped treating money like a wild animal you must trap and started treating it like water in a good system, flowing, cleaning, returning. Guard your conversations. There is a kind of talk people use to make each other feel close, trading worries, trading small jabs at money, trading jokes about how broke everyone is. You do not have to scold anyone. Simply step out of that. River change the subject or answer with a clean line such as, "I'm learning to trust steady supply." You will feel the room test you. Stand kindly. You are not better than anyone. You are simply choosing a different seed. Let me give you one simple practice that begins today and costs nothing. For the next hour, treat your mouth like a front gate. Everything that wants to enter must answer one question. Will this line build my world? If the answer is no, it waits outside. If you need to speak about a problem, speak it as a brief fact and then move straight to a clear instruction. The bill is due Friday. I welcome the right channels now. Notice how that feels compared to, "I'll never get ahead." One opens, one closes. You will feel the difference in your chest. Now say this out loud, slowly, like you are signing your name on a form you understand. My words are not random. My words are instructions. I use them to open supply. I bless my money when it comes and when it goes. I do not repeat fear. I repeat truth. That is not magic. That is order. Order is stronger than chaos when you give it a voice. You may think, "But I've been speaking the old way for years." A habit can be old and still be wrong. Thankfully, a habit is just a path in the grass. The first time you walk a new line, the grass is high. The second time, it bends. Keep walking, and the path you use becomes the path that is easy. Your mouth learns the same way your legs do, by use. Be patient and firm with yourself. You are not scolding a child, you are training a leader. One more picture, and we will seal this first lesson. Imagine a small boat on a lake. The wind can blow from any direction, but the boat responds most to the rudder. Your tongue is that rudder. The wind is your mood, the news, the market, what other people say. You do not have to like the wind. You only have to keep your hand on the rudder. Do not give that job to fear. Steering is your work. The lake will honor it. Seal this in simple speech. Speak it like you would teach a friend. I am done with the poverty of the mouth. I choose clean, steady words. I plant supply. I harvest supply. My tongue points my life toward abundance, and it obeys. Then be very gentle and very strict with yourself at the same time. Gentle when you slip, strict about your standard. That mix, gentle and strict, is how you train anything well. You do not need louder emotions. You need cleaner sentences. You do not need a new personality. You need a new rhythm. Begin with 1 hour, then a morning, then a day. You will feel the room inside you rearrange. Do not rush it. Do not argue with it. Speak it. Hold it. Let the builders build to the blueprint you finally gave them. A switch does not argue with the room. It turns and the light obeys. Your tongue is that switch. It is not decoration. It is not a toy. It is the small lever that tells life which circuit to power. When you treat your words like decorations, you get an accidental life. When you treat your words like orders, you get an ordered life. This is not hard to grasp. Even a child learns that stop makes feet freeze, and come makes a dog run. Sound creates motion. In the same way, your sound creates the motion of money, doors, ideas, and help. Think about a courtroom. A lawyer can talk for hours, but the person the room obeys is the judge. Why? Because the judge's words are law in motion. I want you to put that robe on your own mouth. You are not babbling into the air, you are presiding over your life. A decree is not a wish. A decree is a clean sentence that stands on authority and names a result. A decree sounds like this: right provision, right timing, right way, now. Short, clear, steady. You are not yelling at the world. You are instructing law. Here's the big difference most people miss. Affirmations try to convince you. Decrees command the situation. An affirmation is like telling yourself, I can do it. A decree is like telling the door, open. Both can be useful, but only one moves the hinges. In the story of creation, the pattern is simple. Let there be light. And there was light. No speech about the darkness, no apology. A sentence, then a change. You are shaped in that image, so your sentences carry shape. Speak as if your words have a job, because they do. What gives your words their power is not volume, it is alignment. A policeman can lift one hand and stop a line of cars, not because he is bigger than an engine, but because his hand represents law. Your calm voice can carry more weight than a loud fear if it stands in the place of truth. That is why whispered worry can unravel a day, and one steady decree can weave it back together. Authority does not tremble. Authority does not ask permission from panic. Authority names the next step. Let's make it even simpler. Your tongue is a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer reports the temperature. A thermostat sets it. Most people use their mouth like a thermometer. Business is slow. Bills are high. Money is tight. That reports a feeling, but a decree is a thermostat sentence. Order, flow, and supply set to steady. When you keep reporting the weather, you become the weather. When you set the climate, the room learns your settings. I want you to see how this works in ordinary moments, because law hides in daily things. You walk into a store and a price tag startles you. The old tongue wants to say, too expensive. Stop. You're about to give a command you do not want. Instead, keep your tone gentle and speak under your breath. If this is mine by right, it meets me with ease. You did not lie. You did not whip up fake joy. You gave law a clear condition and an open gate. You open your banking app and the number looks smaller than your piece. The old tongue wants to sigh. This always happens. Do not sign that contract. Speak. This is changing in my favor now, under grace and in perfect ways. The number did not jump while you spoke, but your authority did. You reset the thermostat, you move the hinge, you receive a bill and feel a pinch. The old tongue wants to mutter, there it goes. Do not drill that hole. Speak, I bless this circulation. Money leaves my hand to do good and returns multiplied. You are training your accounts to answer blessing, not complaint. Money behaves like a helpful dog. If you call it with a sharp, angry voice, it hides. If you call it with a clear, friendly command, it comes. Many people ask, where does the authority come from? It comes from identity. If you think you are a beggar, your sentences will wobble. If you know you are an heir, your sentences will stand. An heir does not panic when a door is closed. An heir knocks or calls the owner or uses the spare key. Your mouth is that key. In the language of spirit, your source is not a job, a market, or even a person. Your source is the living supply behind all channels. When you speak from that place, your tone changes. You stop begging chances. You start issuing clean orders to channels. A decree has 4 parts and anyone can learn them. First, who speaks? You speak as the steward of your life, not as a victim of it. Second, to what? You address the matter at hand. Time, money, ideas, doors, favor. Third, on what basis? You stand in divine law, not in fear or gossip. Fourth, with what result? You name a simple, lawful outcome. Here's a template you can carry in your pocket. As the lawful steward of my life, I speak to this bill, this count, this day. Under grace and imperfect ways, you are now supplied, ordered, and complete. That is not fancy. That is a clean order. You may worry, what if I don't feel it? You do not need a perfect feeling to give a lawful instruction. A pilot can take off on a cloudy morning because the instruments tell the truth. Your decree is an instrument. Feel your feelings, then let your words fly the plane. The feeling will catch up to the order you gave, the way your stomach catches up to a fast elevator. It may dip for a moment, it will settle at the new level. I want to teach you a practice so small a child can do it, and so strong it will change your week. Call it the 3-moment decree. It is simply this: morning, midday, night. In the morning, before other voices enter, stand up and say one line slowly, like you are placing a stone in the ground. Today moves with supply and ease for me. At midday, before you answer one more message, say, I stay in rhythm, what I need meets me on time. At night, just before sleep, say, while I rest, channels arrange themselves for my good. That is all. 3 stones. They mark out a path. Now add a tiny drill called label and lift. When a situation appears in your hand, a bill, a receipt, a wallet, a calendar, label it with one lawful word and lift it with one lawful line. Bill, circulation. Line, returns multiplied. Wallet, full place. Line, you remain full. Calendar, ordered. Line, I am on time and things are on time for me. Try it for one day. You will notice less noise and more motion. But what about hard facts? You may ask. What about real deadlines? A decree does not erase facts. It directs them. If a package must be mailed by 5, you will not sit and chant at 4:59. You will speak order into your day at 9, refuse panic's voice at noon, and make the right call at 3. Decree and action are friends. The decree opens the door. Your steps go through it. There is a phrase the wise use, cast the burden. It means this: you transfer weight from your small shoulders to the big source within you. Then you speak as a free person. The order is simple. I place this concern in the care of the Christ within. I step free to receive and act. When you do that, your next sentence loses the shake. You are not pretending to be calm. You have handed the heavy bag to the right carrier. Then you give the clean order your day needs. Tone matters. Not fancy words, not long speeches. Tone. The right tone is the sound of a door that knows it will open. It is not harsh. It is not scared. It is certain. Think of a parent calling a child out of the street. The voice is warm and firm at once. Speak to your life like that. Warm and firm. Fearful sentences feel sticky. Certain sentences feel clean. You can hear the difference in your own chest. Let's train with small targets so your faith has wins to remember. Try the room reset. When you walk into a messy space and feel overwhelmed, do not announce the mess. Say, order here, and put one thing where it belongs. Your mouth set the thermostat. Your hands followed. Try the wallet blessing. Each time you touch your wallet, say, you are blessed, and picture money going out to do good and coming back with friends. Try the door test. Before you send a message or enter a meeting, say, favor, go before me. And watch how often the conversation feels softer than you feared. Sometimes people will want to pull you back into thermometer talk. They will say, "Everyone's struggling." They will ask, "Are you worried?" They will joke, "We're broke, but happy." You do not have to preach. You do not have to correct them. You only need to keep your robe on. Answer with a light touch that holds your setting. "I'm learning to trust steady supply." Or, "Things keep working out for me." Or simply smile and say nothing. Silence with faith is different from silence with fear. One is a pause that keeps the gate closed. The other is a pause that keeps the gate open. Here is what breaks most people's practice. They think a decree must be dramatic. It does not. The most powerful sentences are short and repeated in peace. A drum does not need to be loud to lead a parade. It needs to be steady. Let your mouth be that drum. When worry comes, do not play a solo. Tap the beat you chose this morning. Steady supply, steady steps. It will carry you across the street. You might ask, "How long until I see change?" That is like asking, "How long until a seed becomes a tree?" It depends on the kind, the soil, and the rhythm of water and sun. Your job is to plant, water, and keep weeds off the patch. Your decree plants, your daily repetition waters, your refusal to complain pulls weeds. One day you wake up and shade touches your face that was not there before. Do not dig up the seed to check it. Keep speaking, keep blessing, keep moving. Let me give you 3 clean decrees you can memorize today. They are simple on purpose. First, I walk in steady supply. That addresses your path. Second, what I need meets me on time. That addresses timing. Third, money is my servant, not my stress. That addresses relationship. Use them anywhere. Say them in the bathroom mirror. Say them while you wash dishes. Say them before you press send. If fear argues, do not argue back. Repeat your line. You are the judge here, not the defense attorney. You will notice something as you practice. The room of your mind grows quieter. Choices feel easier. Small ideas tap your shoulder that you might have missed before. A person's name appears and you think to reach out. A task you were avoiding takes 10 minutes instead of 2 days. This is what happens when you speak law. Your steps arrange themselves under the order you announced. It feels like grace because it is. Now, seal today's training with one clear act. Choose one place where your words have been lazy. Maybe your work chat, your kitchen table talk, or the private way you speak to your bank app, and change the setting. Write one sentence on a small card and keep it near that place. Each time you touch that place, speak the sentence once, not 10 times, not until you are tired. Once, like a stamp on an envelope. The mail moves because it is stamped. Your life moves because it is spoken for. Say this now plainly so a child could copy it with a crayon and still be right. My tongue is law in motion. I do not report lack. I set supply. I do not beg. I decree. I stand in divine order, and my money, my time, and my ideas obey. Breathe. Feel how that sentence sits in your body like a solid chair. Sit in it. Speak from it. Walk from it. This is how simple the sacred can be. One mouth, one clean order, again and again, until the room of your life shines like someone finally flipped the switch. Before money leaves your pocket, it leaves your mouth. That is the first place the battle begins and ends. People imagine the fight is out there, in prices, in bosses, in markets. But the earliest loss happens in a sentence no one notices. A small sigh, a quick joke, a line we learned at the kitchen table and never questioned. Habits of speech are quiet rulers. They set rules you do not remember writing, and then they enforce them without raising their voice. If you want a different life, change the rules at the source. Your everyday talk. A habit is simply a path the feet walk because the grass is already pressed down. Language works the same way. The first time you said, "I can't," the ground bent a little. The 10th time, it became a track. The 100th time, it felt like a road you had to take. But no one is forcing you onto that road. The mouth can build new tracks. You do not need a new planet to live better. You need new sentences you can live inside. Begin by noticing. Noticing is power because it gives you back the steering wheel. Pay attention to the tiny lines that slip out when you are hungry, tired, or rushed. Listen to your filler phrases, the things you say just to fill the air. Figures. Just my luck. That's above my pay grade. Those are not harmless. They are small permissions for shortage to act like it owns the house. Every time one appears, catch it like you would catch a glass before it falls. Do not scold yourself. Do not write a speech about it. Just correct it out loud and keep moving. A gentle correction repeated becomes a new reflex. There is also the problem of borrowed language. Families pass down recipes and stories. They also pass down sentences. Money doesn't grow on trees. Don't expect too much. Be realistic. Often the people who gave us these lines loved us. They were afraid, and fear taught them to speak small because small feels safe. But small words do not protect you. They shrink you. You honor your family best by breaking the part of the inheritance that is not true. Keep the kindness. Keep the work ethic. Return the fear. Let me show you how a simple correction looks in real life. You open your banking app and your chest tightens. The old habit reaches for, "It's always something." Stop there. Take one breath. Replace it with, "This is changing in my favor now. I act with peace, and supply meets me." You have not denied a number. You have denied a lie. The lie says the number is your ruler. The truth says the number is a snapshot, and snapshots change when the director gives a new instruction. You are the director here. Guard your mouth most in social talk, the kind of talking people use to feel close. Friends will bond by trading the same 3 lines. How busy, how tired, how broke. Do not preach to them. Do not lecture. Simply step out of the game without shaming anyone. When someone says, "We're all drowning right now," you can answer, "I'm finding my rhythm." When they joke, "We're poor but happy," you can smile and say nothing or say, "I'm grateful and provided for." You have not argued. You have chosen a different seed. Now we must remove 3 phrases that do more damage than people realize. They seem normal because they are common, but they are not safe. Think of them as locks on doors you need to walk through. Take the locks off and the doors behave. The first forbidden phrase is, "I can't afford it." That sentence is not a budget. It is a ban. It tells your mind, stop looking, stop opening, stop expecting. It gives fear the final word and calls it wisdom. Replace it with, "If it is mine by right, it comes to me in right ways." That line keeps the gate open. It gives your mind permission to notice channels you would have ignored, and it leaves room for timing to do its job. The second forbidden phrase is, "That's too expensive." When you say this, you are not judging the price. You are judging your place. You are putting a number above your identity. Replace it with, "Divine substance funds what belongs to me." You are not promising to buy everything. You are refusing to shrink your self-image under a tag. You decide with peace, not with shame. The third forbidden phrase is, "Money is tight." People say it when they are stressed because it sounds honest. It is not honest. It is a spell. It makes the pipe narrower. It teaches your body to tense up when money moves. Replace it with, "Money moves freely to me and through me for good." Freedom is the natural setting of supply. Your line returns the pipe to its proper width. These replacements matter because your mind is a very loyal assistant. It follows the label you attach to the situation. Cannot makes it close files. Too expensive makes it throw options away. Tight makes it brace instead of reach, but by right makes it search. Funded makes it consider new paths. Moves freely makes it relax and act. You are the boss here. Speak like someone whose assistant is taking notes. I want to give you a simple drill that breaks old agreements fast. Take a notepad and write down 5 phrases you hear yourself say when things feel tight. Keep the list visible for 1 day. Each time one of those lines shows up, say cancel, then speak the new line. For example, cancel. What is mine arrives in perfect ways. Or cancel. I am funded for every right task. The cancel is not drama. It is a clean eraser. It tells your mind, we are not keeping that line. Here is the one we keep. Do this for a single day, and you will be surprised how many times your mouth tries to repeat old scripts. Do it for a week, and you will be surprised how often it stops itself before the old line even forms. Let me tell you a true kind story that shows this change in motion. A woman who ran a small studio came to me worn out. She worked early, worked late, kept her books neat, posted online, and still the income limped. 10 minutes into our talk, I could see the leak. In that short time, she said, "It's slow right now. People aren't spending, and I guess I picked a hard niche." None of those sentences were criminal. They were just reports, the way a thermometer reports temperature. But a life does not move by reports. It moves by orders. We did not rebuild her brand. We rebuilt her mouth. She chose one decree for the whole week. I do not serve the economy. I serve steady supply. She put it on a sticky note by her laptop and on a card in her wallet. She said it before checking messages, before writing an offer, and before looking at numbers. When the old lines tried to rise, she said cancel and returned to the one decree. She also stopped joining sympathy speech in her group chat. She replaced "it's slow for everyone" with "my right clients find me easily." By the end of the first week, she had a returning client who had been silent for months. In the second week, that client referred 2 friends. In the third week, she adjusted her prices without flinching because the sentence in her mouth had already raised her self-image. She did not become a different person. She used the person she already was to speak a different climate. The work felt lighter. The same tasks that tasted like sand felt like bread. What changed? Not the whole world, her words. And her words changed what she noticed, how she reached, and how others felt around her. That is circulation, the lawful loop of give and return, woken up by a mouth that blesses. Understand this. The enemy of your supply does not need to break your hands or empty your account. It only needs your agreement. Agreement is easiest to steal through speech. A sly thought suggests a line. You repeat it because it sounds real. That line becomes the rule of the hour. You live under it because you spoke it. The way out is the same as the way in. Change the agreement with a new line. You do not have to argue with fear on a stage. Give one short instruction and walk forward. Another small practice that helps: bless the outflow at the moment it leaves. When you pay a bill, do not say, "There it goes." Say, "Thank you for what this paid for." This money returns with good friends. When you buy a meal, do not say, "I hope I have enough left." Say, "I am grateful to be fed, and I bless everyone this payment touches." You will feel your body unclench. Fear holds, blessing releases. What you release with blessing obeys the law to return multiplied. This is not superstition. It is how circulation behaves when you stop pinching the pipe. Guard your inputs too. If you fill your ears all day with voices that preach shortage, your mouth will repeat them. Choose what you watch and read with the same care you choose food. You do not have to live in a bubble. Just notice the effect. If the news leaves you tight and angry, shorten it and lengthen something that leaves you steady. A steady mouth is easier to keep than a mouth you must restart every hour. Let us clear up one more confusion that traps many. People think discipline means being harsh. Discipline simply means I choose the path on purpose. When your mouth slips, correct it kindly and quickly. No drama. Say, "That line is not mine," and replace it. Then keep walking. You are not standing in a courtroom being judged. You are standing in your own house, choosing which lights to turn on. Flip the switch you want and move to the next room. Now seal this lesson with a few plain lines you can use the next time a habit tries to speak for you. Say, "I do not lend my mouth to lack." Say, "I speak as one who is funded." Say, "My sentences build doors, not walls." Practice them when nothing is wrong, so they are ready when something is loud. The mouth is like a muscle. It remembers what you use most. You are not fighting money, you are training speech. You are not wrestling an invisible monster. You are removing 3 small hinges and replacing them with better ones. The first war is not in the wallet, it is in the words. Win there, and the rest of life has to line up. Speak clean, catch slips, replace fast, bless the flow, protect your conversations, and let your new habit be this simple. If the sentence would plant shortage, it does not pass. If the sentence would plant supply, it is welcome. That is how you end the quiet rule of lack and begin the quiet rule of steady abundance. One mouth, one moment, one corrected line at a time. Stand in front of a mirror and you meet the only voice that can change your life quickly, your own. The mirror is not just glass, it is a witness. What you dare to say before your own eyes becomes the contract your body keeps. Children understand this without theory. A child smiles at a costume and begins to walk like a hero. The reflection gives permission. Adults forget that this door never closed. You still move according to what the face in the mirror believes. If the face carries the label almost, your steps hesitate. If the face carries the label provided for, your steps arrive on time. This is why we use the mirror, not to stare at features, but to settle identity. When identity is settled, speech carries authority. When speech carries authority, supply answers. Identity speaks before any sentence does. If you secretly think you are a beggar, every decree will wobble. If you know you are an heir, a clean line can open 5 doors. The mirror is where you stop borrowing names from fear and take back your true one. You do not have to shout. You do not have to psych yourself up. You simply stand, breathe once, lift your chin a little so the throat is open, and look. Let the eyes meet without flinching. The voice you use is calm, like someone who already has the key. I am funded, I am guided, I am safe to receive. Simple, steady, said like a password you know by heart. That is not pretending. That is remembering. There is a law that governs how thoughts are replaced, and it is so practical a 10-year-old can use it. It is the law of substitution. 2 notes cannot take up the same space in the air at the exact same moment. One will drown the other. 2 sentences cannot live in your mouth at the same time. One is chosen. When a small, scary thought tries to rent your tongue, you do not debate it for 20 minutes. You substitute. You gently put truth in the space the lie wanted, not because you deny the feeling, but because you deny the lie the microphone. This is dominion in everyday clothes. Here is how it works in ordinary minutes. You look at a bill and a thought appears, I don't know how I'll pay this. Do not argue with that thought like you are in a noisy market haggling over a fruit. Swap it. My supply is immediate and constant. This is handled in right ways. You open the app and a number looks small. The old groove reaches for, why does this keep happening? Swap it. This picture is improving now. I welcome right channels. A price tag makes your stomach dip. The automatic sentence is too expensive. Swap it. If this is mine by right, it meets me with ease. You have not explained anything to fear. You put truth in its place and moved on. People think strength is tense. Real strength is simple and quick. The mirror helps because your own eyes hold you to the line you just chose. Think of it like setting the radio. You cannot tune 2 stations at once. You pick the one you want, and the other fades. The mirror is the knob. You stand there for 1 minute in the morning and 1 minute at night, and tune. Morning. Choose who you are before the world assigns you a role. Night. Return to who you are before sleep writes the script for tomorrow. A minute is enough when the minute is clean. Make it very simple. Stand at the mirror and soften your shoulders. Put your feet flat so you feel the floor. This reminds the body we are safe. Safety makes truth easier to believe. Look at your eyes, not at every tiny detail of your face. Eyes are the doorway. Then speak 3 lines slowly. Line 1 names identity. I am the vessel of steady supply. Line 2 names relationship. Money serves my good, and I bless its every motion. Line 3 names timing. What I need meets me on time in perfect ways. Pause between each line long enough to breathe once. You are not rushing to finish. You are signing the day. If emotion rises, doubt, sadness, anger, do not shove it down. That is not substitution. That is stuffing. Acknowledge it with 1 short sentence. I hear you. And then return to the 3 lines. Emotion is like a wave hitting a rock. The rock does not argue with the water. It keeps its shape. Your lines are the rock. The wave spends itself and slides away. The law of substitution works because the mind is obedient. It is like a kind dog that grabs whatever stick you throw. If you throw not enough, it runs after lack all day and brings back proof. If you throw provided for, it runs after order and brings back options. The mirror is the place you choose which stick to throw before your day starts chasing. Do not call your mind names. Train it with simple, repeatable throws. There is a second piece many miss: posture. Identity is not only said, it is worn. If you speak, I am provided for. While your body is curled in apology, your nervous system hears mixed orders. Stand the way a steward stands, upright but not stiff, relaxed but not lazy. Think of a lighthouse, not a soldier. A lighthouse does not strain, it shines. Your posture can be a silent decree that makes the words easier to accept. A child could copy this. Feet down, shoulders easy, chin slightly up, eyes kind, voice steady. Now let us talk about the most common mistake: rehearsing lack in the mirror and calling it honesty. The mirror is not a confession booth for fear. It is a gate of agreement. You are not here to describe the mess. You are here to authorize order. If you must mention a difficulty, do it the way a builder reads a blueprint. We need a beam here, so we set one. I need a payment here, so I call one. Short, clear, followed by a decree. This keeps your mind in solve mode instead of suffer mode. When a stubborn thought keeps returning, you always mess this up. You don't deserve more, it's too late. Use substitution with a script. not a struggle. Write one, counterline for each stubborn lie, and keep them on a small card by the mirror. Lie, you always mess this up. Truth, I act with wisdom now and that is enough. Lie, you don't deserve more. Truth, I inherit more by right and I use it for good. Lie, it's too late. Truth, divine timing makes me early for what is mine. Read the truth line aloud once and look yourself in the eyes when you do it. The eyes make the line stick. Add in what Florence called casting the burden. It is not your job to carry weight your nervous system cannot hold. Hand the heavy bag to the big source within and then speak from freedom. The sentence is simple. I cast the burden of this concern on the Christ within, and I go free to receive. After you say it at the mirror, you will notice your neck loosen. The next lines leave your mouth clean instead of strained. Clean words build faster. Some will say, "Isn't this lying to myself?" Number lying would be saying you have 10 apples when you see one. Truth is saying the tree that grows apples is rooted in you, and then speaking to the tree. A farmer does not stand in the field yelling at the dirt for not being a pie. The farmer plants, waters, and speaks in the language of seasons. You are doing the same thing, but with words. You speak to the unseen tree, and your hands gather the fruit in its time. Let's make substitution even easier with tiny everyday examples. A friend asks, "Busy day?" The old mouth answers, "Crazy, I'm drowning." Substitution answers, "Full, and I'm in rhythm." You pick up a task you've put off. The old mouth says, "I hate this." Substitution says, "This is simple, and I finish it." You walk past a shop and think, "I'll never have nice things." Substitution says, "What is mine comes kindly, and I enjoy it." None of these lines are long. None are dramatic. They are small turns of the wheel that keep the boat pointed where you said you were going. The mirror is also where you remove apology from your voice. Many people learn to speak small so others would not feel uncomfortable. But shrinking your speech does not feed anyone. Scarcity does not share. It hides. Abundance shares because it has something to share. When you look into the mirror and you hear yourself say, "I am allowed to receive," watch what happens to your shoulders. They drop. The breath returns. That soft drop is the sound of permission arriving. With permission, action becomes easy. Parents can do this with children and make it a game. Stand together and choose one family line for the day. We are a provided for house. Put it on a sticky note at child height on the mirror. Say it once in the morning with smiles. Children love rituals that are short and clear. They feel the difference in the day. You will too. This is not superstition. It is structure. Now, lock the practice in place with a small, steady plan. Morning mirror. Minute. 3 lines, 1 breath between each. Eyes kind, posture tall. Noon substitution check. 1 old thought replaced with 1 clean line, said once aloud, even if softly. Night mirror. Minute. Review the biggest win of the day and bless tomorrow with 1 sentence. I rest while provision prepares. You do not need to write paragraphs. You are keeping the river pointed one way. If shame rises because you should have known better by now, substitute that too. Shame is not a teacher. It is a glue. It tries to freeze you where you stand. Say, I release shame. I choose progress. Then move 1 inch. An inch every day moves a mile while shaming yourself keeps you still. The law answers movement and voice, not self-punishment. Bless your reflection when you are finished. Do not walk away with a sigh. Say, thank you for agreeing with me. Gratitude seals what you just declared the way wax seals a letter. The letter can travel without losing what is inside. Then carry one small phrase into the first thing you do after the mirror, pouring coffee, tying shoes, opening a laptop, so the decree walks into a task and does not float away as an idea. Remember this final picture, because it will save you on loud days. Imagine the mirror as a doorway with two guards. One guard is named fear. The other is named truth. Only one guard lets people in. You choose the guard with your sentence. If you say, "I never get ahead," fear waves you through and seats you in the section where the floor is sticky and the lights flicker. If you say, "I walk in steady supply," truth opens the better door and seats you near the window where you can see where you are going. The building is the same. Your seat changes with your sentence. Seal the work now, not with a shout, but with a steady voice. Look at your hands or look into an imagined mirror if a real one is not near and say, "I agree with abundance. I refuse the old lines. I substitute fear with truth and lack with law. I am the vessel of steady supply. I speak, I receive, I share." Then go do one ordinary thing under that agreement. Answer an email, wash a dish, send an invoice, and notice how the ordinary thing feels different under a new name. That difference is identity doing its job through your mouth. Keep the mirror minutes. Keep the substitutions. Keep the tone warm and firm. The face you agree with in the morning becomes the life that answers you by night. You do not win this with strain. You win it with structure. A singer does not argue with a note. They practice scales until the right sound is normal. In the same way, your mouth must learn a clean rhythm so truth comes out even when you are tired or surprised. This is why we use a simple, short protocol. We're not trying to sound impressive. We are building a habit so strong that fear has no room to borrow your voice. First, understand what prophecy means here. Prophecy is not guessing the future. Prophecy is speaking spiritual fact so clearly that form has to follow. When you say light, you are not pretending the room is bright. You are flipping the switch that brightens it. Performance asks, "Do I sound good?" Prophecy asks, "Did I issue the order?" We choose prophecy. Before we walk day by day, hold one guiding picture in your mind, the point of contact. Whenever you touch money, a calendar, a bill, a wallet, or a door you hope will open, that is your moment to speak. Short lines at real moments beat long speeches in empty rooms. Keep it small. Keep it steady. Law answers rhythm. Here is your 7-day spoken supply protocol. It is simple enough for a child to use and strong enough to calm an adult's nerves. Each day has a theme and 3 short lines. Say them in the mirror in the morning, whisper them once at midday, and seal them at night before sleep. If stress tries to borrow your mouth, use the day's lines as substitutions. Day 1, gates and guard. Theme, your mouth is the gate. You decide what enters. Lines, my words open good. I do not announce lack. Everything I bless increases. Practice. Catch one old phrase you tend to use. I can't, it's tight. Say cancel, and replace it aloud with, what is mine by right reaches me in right ways. Day 2, channels. Theme. Source is one. Channels are many. Lines. God is my supply. People and paths are channels. New channels appear easily. Practice. When you pay for anything, say, I bless this circulation. It returns multiplied. Feel your shoulders drop. That is the pipe widening. Day 3, identity theme. Heir, not beggar. Steward, not victim. Lines. I am trusted with good. I use money wisely. I am safe to receive more. Practice. Stand taller when you speak. A lighthouse does not strain, it shines. Let your posture agree with your line. Day 4, favor and timing theme. Everything good has a right time and finds you on it. Lines. I move in right timing. Favor goes before me. What I need meets me on time. Practice. Before sending a message or entering a meeting, say, favor first, and then go in. Day 5. Cast the burden theme. You are not built to carry weight alone. Lines. I hand this concern to the Christ within. I act free and clear. Answers arrive while I move. Practice. When a worry spikes, do not argue. Transfer it with that first line, then take one next step. Day 6. Frequency of speech. Theme. Law hears rhythm. Lines. My daily talk is wealth talk. I bless money coming and going. I repeat truth until it sticks. Practice. Choose one place where your words have been lazy, group chat, kitchen table, and replace one sloppy sentence with one clean one every time you speak there today. Day 7, Dominion theme. Your word shapes the day. Lines. I do not report storms, I set the climate. My voice leads my life. I live in steady supply now. Practice. Review your week. Circle your biggest spoken win. Say thank you for it aloud. Gratitude seals the gate. Keep the language short enough that you can use it in an elevator, a checkout line, or a doorway. The goal is not to be dramatic. The goal is to be present and lawful. Now let me show you the model we use for courage when appearances are loud, the Jesus model of speech. Notice how he spoke in the old stories. At a wedding, when the wine ran out, he did not replay the lack. He gave a calm instruction and an outcome followed. In a field with hungry people and a little food, he did not scold the numbers. He lifted his eyes, blessed what was there, and there was more than enough. At a grave, he did not agree with finality. He gave thanks that he was heard, then called for life. In every scene, the pattern is the same. No partnership with shortage, simple gratitude, a clear word, and motion. He spoke from supply, never from shortage. If you call yourself his, speak like that, brief, thankful, certain. Thank you that this is handled. Open. That is a whole prayer. People ask, but do small lines really matter? Listen to a story of a man who worked a steady job but felt trapped. He said politely and often, I can't afford to leave. And those words built a fence. We did not attack the fence with a hammer. We changed the sentence that kept rebuilding it. For 21 days, he agreed to speak about money only from supply. He kept one simple line on a card by his mirror, on his desk, and near his wallet. God is my instant and constant supply. I speak wealth and walk in provision. The first week, nothing big happened on the outside, but inside he stopped flinching at bills. The second week, a former client asked for help on the side. That side work turned into a contract. The third week, he looked in the mirror and noticed his face had stopped asking for permission. He turned in his notice and stepped into consulting without panic, not because the numbers were magic, but because his mouth had already moved. When people asked how he did it, he said one sentence that I want you to remember. My mouth chose my future before my feet did. That is the power of prophecy over performance. He did not hustle himself into the hospital. He spoke cleanly, acted calmly, and walked through doors that opened because he was finally knocking with the right voice. To anchor this at a higher level, I give you the financial prophecy ritual. Use it for the next 7 mornings. It takes 1 minute. It pays for itself all day. Stand alone before your mirror or with your palms open. No phone first, no rush. Let your shoulders drop. Look yourself in the eyes and speak slowly. I set my day to supply. Money moves toward me and multiplies in my hands. I do not serve time. Time serves my good. I am paid in full by channels seen and unseen already in motion. My conversations carry value. My steps plant profit. I walk through this day spiritually funded. Then pause for one breath. Do not tack on 10 more lines. Let the 1 minute be the whole minute. You are not trying to feel something. You issued a lawful order. Walk into the day like the person who said it. At midday, speak this once. I stay in rhythm. What I need meets me on time. At night, before sleep writes tomorrow's script, speak this once. While I rest, provision prepares. I wake up to easy next steps. These 3 touches, morning, noon, and night, are like stakes in the ground. They hold the tent up when wind rises. Add a point of contact drill to your daily life. Every time you touch money or anything to do with money, you speak a blessing, not a sigh. When paying a bill, thank you for this service. This payment returns multiplied. When checking your account, this picture improves in my favor now. When opening your wallet, you are a full place. When sending an invoice, this is paid promptly and gladly. When receiving money, welcome, do good, and come back with friends. You will notice how the mood of money around you changes from tension to cooperation. That mood shift is not imaginary. It is circulation obeying your new label. Remember the law of substitution inside this ritual. If a thought of lack tries to speak, do not let it finish the sentence. Switch it mid-air. Thought, there isn't enough for rent. Line, my rent is already provided through right channels in motion now. Thought, what if this client doesn't pay? Line, my source is God, not one person. All that is owed arrives lawfully. Thought, I never get ahead. Line, I move in right timing. Nothing good is kept from me. Make 3 of your own substitutions tonight and put them on a small card by your bed so your morning mouth has them ready. Guard your tone as much as your words. You can say a good line with a begging voice and it will wobble. You can say a good line with a steady voice and it will carry. The right tone is warm and firm, like a parent calling a child out of the street. Not harsh, not scared, certain. Practice in the mirror for 30 seconds. Your body will remember the sound. If you slip, and everyone slips, use the quick cleanse. As soon as you hear a phrase of lack coming out of your mouth, stop, smile at yourself for catching it, and say, I cancel that. Then replace it. I call supply now. Do not add guilt. Guilt is glue. It tries to freeze you where you stand. You are training, not performing. Training allows corrections. Corrections keep you moving. You may be wondering, what if the outer picture does not change fast? A seed does not pop into a tree in an hour. But if you water it morning and night, and if you keep weeds off the patch, the growth becomes obvious even to impatient eyes. Your decree is the planting. Your 3 daily touches are the water. Your refusal to rehearse lack is pulling weeds. Keep at it for 7 days. Then keep at it because you like who you are when you speak this way. Let's put all this into one simple daily flow you can remember without a notebook. Wake. Mirror minute. Prophecy. Move into work. Bless outflow and inflow as you touch it. Midday single line, I stay in rhythm. Afternoon doorways, favor first. Evening cancel, replace any slips. Night mirror, minute. Provision prepares while I rest. If you want a reminder, write the first words of each step on a small card. Wake, mirror, bless, midday, favor, cleanse, night. That one line in your pocket can keep your day aligned when noise rises. Seal this part with a clean, child-simple vow. Speak it like a person who knows the house answers the owner's voice. I speak from supply, not from shortage. I bless money in and money out. I set my day with my word and I hold the setting. I am an heir, so I speak like one. Breathe. Feel how calm follows that kind of sentence. Calm is a sign that your inner court accepts the order. From here on, measure progress by obedience, not by goosebumps. Did you speak your morning minute? Did you bless the outflow? Did you substitute the lie? Did you cast the burden when it got heavy? That is success. Keep doing the small, lawful things. The harvest will not argue with a mouth that finally learned its job. Prophecy, not performance. Rhythm, not strain. Lawful speech, lawful results. Midnight is not the end of a day. It is the doorway of a new one. When the house is quiet and the world's noise rests, your mind listens best. This is the hour when your voice can set the climate for tomorrow with very little resistance. Think of midnight like fresh, wet cement. If you draw a clean line into it, the line keeps its shape when the sun comes up. That is why we use a simple midnight activation. It is not superstition, it is structure. You are training your mouth to lead while the crowd is asleep. Here's the way to do it so even a child could follow. A few minutes before 12, dim the lights so your body knows it is safe. Stand or sit where you can breathe easily. Place one hand on your chest to feel the sound of your own voice. Look at your reflection if a mirror is near. If not, look at your open palm. Say this slowly and plainly, not as a chant, but as an order you believe. Though it is midnight, I dwell in light. Divine supply is active now in every direction of my life. Channels open. Delays release. I go to sleep in the rhythm of provision and I rise into visible good. Then stop. Do not pile on 20 more lines. Do not try to feel anything. You have flipped the switch. Let the room be quiet again. Lay down and rest like someone who just locked the door and knows the house is safe. If you are asleep by midnight because your schedule demands it, the rule is the same. Make your last spoken lines before sleep a clean instruction to supply. It can be as short as, provision prepares while I rest. I wake to write steps. If you work nights, choose the quietest hour of your shift as your personal midnight. The power is not in the number on the clock. The power is in the stillness and the decree you place inside it. Why does this work so gently and so well? At night, your conscious mind stops arguing. It is like a busy guard taking a break. Your deeper mind hears your sentence and begins arranging pictures to match it. That is why worried words before bed make for heavy mornings. And that is why one steady decree at midnight can save you from an entire day of dragging your feet. You are not wrestling with mystery. You are respecting how your inner house obeys sound. Now marry this midnight order with the law that moves money in the daylight, the law of circulation. Money is not a statue, it is a river. If you try to trap a river, it grows stale. If you bless it as it moves, it comes back clear and multiplied. Many people fear the outflow and then wonder why there is no inflow. They look at a payment and say, there it goes, as if a thief took it. That line turns the pipe narrow. The law of circulation says the pipe widens when you bless both directions. Blessing is not a mood. It is a sentence. Here's a simple way to practice. When you pay a bill, say, thank you for the service this made possible. This money returns multiplied. When you buy a meal, say, I bless this food and every hand that brought it to me. Money leaves to do good and comes back with friends. When you send an invoice, say, this is paid promptly and gladly. When you receive money, say, welcome, do good, and return. These are small lines you can speak in a normal voice anywhere. You are not showing off. You are setting labels the law can read. What if the numbers feel tight and your stomach tightens too? Do not curse the outflow. Replace the old sentence with a lawful one. Instead of, "This is killing me," say, "I am funded for every right obligation." Instead of, "Another bill," say, "Another chance to bless the flow." You will feel your shoulders drop because your nervous system listens to your own voice. The body loosens, and a loose body acts better than a clenched one. Calm is not laziness. Calm is the sign that your inner judge has spoken. Giving belongs to circulation, but giving is not a trick to force a result. Give where you are fed, where you feel clean, and where the inner guide says yes. The amount is less important than the spirit and the sentence. If you hand someone a gift while muttering, "I hope this doesn't hurt me," you are blessing with your hand and cursing with your mouth. That cancels the loop. Better to give a small amount with a strong line. I give from overflow, and the law returns it in perfect ways. Children can learn this. Let them place a coin in a jar and say, "We share because our house is provided for." The jar will teach their mouth to love flow. Remove 3 blockages from circulation and you will feel the river move. First blockage, resentment. If you send money out while resenting a person or a company, you glue yourself to that feeling. Scrape it off with one sentence. I release resentment. I keep my peace and my increase. Second blockage, apology. If you feel guilty when money comes, you push it away with your face even as you hold it with your hand. Replace guilt with stewardship. I am safe to receive and wise to use. Third blockage, hoarding from fear. Saving is wise. Hoarding is fear, trying to build a wall against life. Save with a blessing. This reserve is blessed for right use, and let some part of your flow circulate so the river knows it is still a river. A small story shows this better than pages of rules. A barber I knew kept a tidy shop and a tight mouth. He worked hard, said little, and always looked worried when people paid. "Thanks," he would mutter. "Hopefully it's enough to cover the electric." That sentence sat like a shadow over the register. We changed one thing. Each time someone paid, he was to look them in the eye and say, "Thank you, this is blessed and returns multiplied." He would also put the first small bill of the day into a flow envelope and label it circulation. It was not a tax, it was a reminder. In 2 weeks, his regulars started bringing friends. In a month, he added a second chair. He did not become loud, he became lawful. The shadow lifted because his mouth stopped calling it over. Bring midnight and circulation together, and you have a simple daily rhythm that feels like breathing. At night, you set the blueprint. By day, you bless the building. Night sentence. Provision is arranging while I rest. Day sentence. Everything I bless increases. That is all. Glue them to your calendar and to your wallet. The glue is your repetition. People ask, "What if I slip and complain?" Then you clean it right away. I cancel that line. I bless this flow. Do not carry the slip like a stone in your pocket. Throw it out. Your mouth is learning a new game, and new games take a few tries to feel natural. Celebrate the catches. Every time you catch and replace a bad line in the wild, you score a quiet win. Quiet wins grow loud results. If you want to make the law of circulation visible for a child, use 2 jars. One is labeled in, the other is labeled out. When money comes in, drop a small coin in the in jar and say, "Welcome." When money goes out, drop a small coin in the out jar and say, "Do good in return." At the end of the week, show them that both jars have coins, and that neither jar is empty because the family used words that keep the river flowing. This simple picture will teach their mouth better than a long lecture. There is one more piece that seals all of this like wax on a letter. Gratitude. Gratitude is not a trick to make something like you. Gratitude is how a king says, "Yes, I received it," and invites more. If you find a coin on the sidewalk, say, "Thank you, I recognize my supply." If someone buys you a coffee, say, "I bless you back." If a delayed payment arrives, say, "I bless the hands it passed through." Gratitude finishes the loop so the next loop can start. Ungrateful speech leaves loops open and energy leaks out of them. Use these short declarations to seal your house each day and speak them like a person giving clear instructions to a capable crew. At midnight, I set tomorrow to supply. I bless money in and money out. My words keep the river wide. I am funded for every right obligation. What is mine by right meets me in right ways. I am safe to receive. I am wise to release. Notice the tone, warm and firm. A warm, firm voice is a door that knows it will open. Close this work with one simple night-to-day routine that fits any life. Before bed, 1 minute of calm decree, then sleep. On waking, 1 sentence at the mirror, then move. When paying, 1 blessing, then release. When receiving, 1 blessing, then steward. At midday, 1 reset line. I stay in rhythm. At any slip, 1 cancel and replace. At day's end, 1 thank you. If you pictured this as a circle, you would see it is smooth. Smooth circles roll. Jerky corners drag. Say this now to seal the circle, and say it like you are telling the truth to your best friend. My night sets my day. My mouth keeps the river wide. I bless the flow in both directions. I do not beg, I decree. I do not shrink, I steward. I live in steady supply now. Then do 1 small act that agrees with what you said. Put a bill in the circulation. Envelope with a blessing. Prepare tomorrow's clothes so morning starts clean. Write a short thank you to someone who paid you. These are not huge moves. They are small hinges that swing big doors. Do not make this heavy. Make it holy and simple. Midnight is the quiet place you draw the plan. Daylight is the happy place you bless the building. Your word is your wand. Your mouth is your steward. Your supply is your witness. Keep the switch flipping on at night. Keep the river blessing by day. Keep your tone warm and firm. And watch, not with strain but with calm eyes, how the house you live in begins to look like the sentences you finally chose.